So what I did, in light of making sure I had enough clearance to still bolt this to the door and not bump into my door panel, SEM is the company, trim black, it's a satin paint, and this is a stock door belt molding. Well, I assume it's a replacement, it's not the original. But anyway, how they work, for any of you that don't know, ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to provide you with a little bit of a project update because I've got so many loose ends on the go here right now. I figured it's probably best to just sum them all up and let you know where I currently sit. So for those of you that have been following along, engine wise, actually, well, yeah, we're 99% of the way there. I need a clutch cable, and I got a new clutch quadrant I'm going to put in there too, just for not safety but insurance purposes. I don't want that plastic paw breaking on me and leaving me stranded, so got to do that under the hood. But other than that, that is good there. More or less everything that's going on right now has been interior, well, and pseudo exterior. I got a lot of the trim tore off the car. I've been painting it. I think anybody watching this sort of stuff would probably know by now, but SEM is the company, trim black, it's a satin paint, is the identical match to a stock Foxbody color. So I'm just painting all the various parts. See the window arms and the windshield trim over there. That's currently on the go. Now, what else? I've done a couple of quick hitter videos, but I've gone through the power windows, power locks. Everything is adjusted and good there. Actually, I'll show you here. So you can see I've got some nylon locking nuts on some of the adjusters there in the window, in the door that hold the essentially it guides your window up and locks it in place when it's all the way up. Sorry, kind of a terrible explanation, but anyway, I was missing nuts, so you know, these adjusting pieces were wobbling all over the place. Replaced those, and nylons are nice. They don't come with nylon lock nuts from the factory. It's just a nut and a washer, so naturally they're going to loosen up. And yeah, I've gone through the wiring, my locks, my windows, everything there works now, and they're adjusted and the doors are closing properly. But in true rabbit hole Mustang format, that's led me to tear a lot of this trim off. And I mean, this is the rubbers that seal the window to the windshield frame. Seems to me that they were kind of some sort of automotive glue, but these rubbers weren't really sitting in the tracks all that well either. So anyway, I just want to make sure my windows seal as good as they can. I know it's not going to be 100%, but I'm shooting for 100, so if we land on 95, I'll be happy there. So yeah, going through all of that stuff. Now, while I got the door panels off, to which I've given them a lick and a promise, they cleaned up pretty good, both front and back. So I've taken the Ford speakers. This still had the original Ford issue woofers, if you will. Check this out. I think this one, it's a little easier to see, but yeah, premium speaker. Can you imagine that, eh? That's a premium speaker. Anyway, I had some aftermarket Pioneers laying around, and I'm gonna throw those in. So I thought this was kind of neat. What I did was, so this car still has the plastic, I think they're kind of like a rain guard or whatever, right, to block your speaker from taking any water, taking on any water. And I wanted to reuse those. So what I did, in light of making sure I had enough clearance to still bolt this to the door and not bump into my door panel, was I riveted them from the back. and I had to use a little tiny washer on the front to make sure that rivet sat in place. And then I'll just bolt the rain guard to the door. And then one other thing I did, because I want to try to keep this thing for the most part original, and not hack up any of the original harnesses, I peeled the speaker plug off of the stock speaker and just soldered it onto this guy, which is easily removable, right? For any of you that have messed around with aftermarket speakers. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of neat. I'll plug in some aftermarket speakers. And on that note, actually, I think what I'm going to do, well, I'll see how the original deck does. I know that they don't have very much oomph behind them, but I'm definitely going to have the original deck in place in the car, so it looks all stock. But I was chatting with a guy, a stereo guy, and they've got this, I think it's kind of set up for, well, the spiel he gave me was it's more of a classic car type deal, but essentially it's a head unit that's not a head unit, right? So you put it in the trunk or under the seat or whatever, and it runs all your auxiliary outputs to an external amp, because this head unit doesn't have any sort of power behind it, right? It's just a receiver essentially. And it's you plug in a little Bluetooth dongle, I think they call them, and it turns on with accessory power. So when you turn your key forward, bang, it kicks in, and then you just essentially run your tunes from your phone, which is what a lot of these new decks do. But like I say, I want to cross the deck out of the equation. I don't want to put an aftermarket deck in it. I'd just like to have Bluetooth music and run it from my phone and not have the look of the aftermarket deck. So anyway, I'm gonna check one of these out. I think it's Clarion that makes them. They're a couple $100. If and when I get one, I'll be sure to do like a review / unboxing for you guys. And then yeah, the amp, I mean, I've been out of the stereo game for a long time. I was never really in it, but I used to dabble in it like most of us did. And the amp game's come a long ways, right? You can get a lot of power out of a little unit now. So probably do this head unit under one seat, amp under the other, sneakily hide some decent speakers behind all of the stock panels, and have an alright stereo kind of thing. So that's that about that. Hey, here's a funny one for you guys. So I actually had to seek assistance from a friend of mine, and I'm very thankful to have this well, I don't even know if he calls friends. Anyway, we're buddies on Instagram, but he knows a ton about these Foxes, and seems to be a really good go-to resource. So I'm taking off the door belt moldings, okay? So the molding that runs along here, where are they? Right here. Okay, so here's your door belt molding. And this is a stock door belt molding. Well, I assume it's a replacement, it's not the original. But anyway, how they work, for any of you that don't know, is there's typically these rivets with plastic washers on them, and they fit into these little cutouts here, okay? So you pop them in, you slide it forward, you run a single screw in the very back here, and that's how they attach. So anyway, I've had them off my green coupe, I don't know, 2-3 times. So I'm going to take these things off, and I just cannot get them off, right? I'm bumping them back, but they're hard to bump back. Typically, you take the screw out of the back of those door belt moldings, and they just slide back and pop off. I mean, essentially, yeah, well, it's probably the best Ford could have done with the situation they were dealing with, but they fly off sometimes. If you lose that back screw, like, they're not attached very tight. A young child could remove them. Well, anyway, I couldn't get mine off. Like, I got hammers and punches out to try to get these things off, and I'm trying not to damage them. Well, anyway, I find these in behind holding this door channel, this door belt molding on. And now, I'm not a body guy. I'm anyone watching that's a body guy's maybe seen these before, but these were tucked up in that door belt molding and then bolted down to the door. I would have never thought it in a million years. I mean, even the guy that I contacted on Instagram there, I mean, he's kind of seen everything with these cars. He goes, I got no idea what the heck those are. That's some foreign stuff to me. So anyway, somebody along the way either didn't know how they should have been installed correctly or how they were originally, and decided to throw those bad boys on there. What a massive pain though. Like, if you're ever having trouble with your doorbell moldings, removing them, maybe these are common out there, I don't know, I've never seen them, but you gotta like reach up in and under the door and try to get a 3/8 socket, or like literally my driver's side door took me 2.5 hours just to get one out. I could get the other 3, I couldn't get the 4th out. And that side, I knew a couple tricks, but probably an hour and a half. I even had my 5-year-old daughter down here holding vice grips. Like, it was outrageous just trying to get these doorbell moldings off. Anyway, I guess it's how's that saying go? Your 20-minute job is only one broken bolt away from being a 4-hour ordeal. That was one of these cases. So yeah, I think that kind of brings you up to speed, guys, as to where we're at currently on the project. I'm gonna keep going along here with the interior. Seats are gonna come out, and I gotta clean this dash up. This thing being a convertible, I think it sat in dusty conditions with the top down for quite a bit of its life, so got to figure that out. Clock spring, I think, which is where my horn, cruise control, and airbag situation's coming from. I got to find one of those. So actually, for any of you that have stuck it out through this whole video and are watching the tail end of it here, if you know where I can track down a clock spring for what I guess would be a 90 to 93 Foxbody, let me know, because they don't make them anymore. You got to find a donor car, and I'm not sure. I think if guys are flipping out to an aftermarket wheel from the airbag wheel, I think you remove that clock spring. So if anybody's got one laying around collecting dust, hit me up, I'll buy it. And I think I'm good on that. You guys know, because how I even bought this car is a guy reached out to me on YouTube here in the comments and said, hey, I got a car you should see. And anyway, long story short, I bought it. So anyway, clock spring, no problem. But that's where we sit, guys. Oh yeah, and I mean, I gotta to put my door panels back in. I got the old 5.0 Resto kit. This is the kind of the replacement parts to put your door panels in and secure them properly. Yeah, so that's where we're at, guys. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble. Just wanted to bring you all up to speed, and yeah, maybe some of these tips and tricks helped you out there too. So all right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye for now.